Hello, and welcome to Find You Fridays. It's me, Lorene, your intuitive connector for tonight. How are you? Okie dokie, let us just get these background things all done and dusted so we can have fun together, play together. Hi, Melinda. How are you? Oh, goodness. Okie dokie. We have messages coming in. What is that message? Woohoo! Woohoo! All right, I just need to turn my ear thingy mutes off. It doesn't want me to be in my ear hole. Thank you, Edwina. Hi, Christine. I do love it how what's her name? Yes. People's phones love to do things like make things what do they call it? Autocorrect. In particular, my name. And so people often end up giving me all sorts of strange spellings of my name, and it's like it's not that hard. But one of the most common ones that I get since living here in Australia, and the fact that we have a large Greek and Italian community, is that I get Lorena. So Lorena or Lorena. So Lorena or Lorena, it's very interesting. So Oh, well, I have lots of things to show you today. Well, I've got a couple of things, but I'm excited for today. We have a really beautiful day today, all planned out, I'm sure. And I am just thrilled. We are now in December. Yay for being in December. And thank goodness we are out of that lovely new moon energy. Because, of course, as my lovely darling partner informed me this week, we've had Mercury go into retrograde again this week. So if you guys have noticed anything strange going on with your technology, that might be why. Hi, Alex. How are you? I'm actually doing really, really well. So seeing as we've got a few, oh God, I don't know how long retrograde is this time. Somebody else can tell you in the comments. So for those of you who follow me over on Facebook land, you'll know that the cross-stitch project that I've been doing since February is now complete. And it was a bit of a complicated one in some ways, because not only was it counted cross-stitch, the pattern was not as straightforward as I first thought, because what it had was the pattern was divided up into 3 panels. And if any of you have done cross-stitch or tapestry, you'll know, like counted cross-stitch or tapestry, you'll know that your pattern is divided up into blocks of 10, so a 10 by 10 block. But what was happening was, because it was divided into 3 panels, the first panel was however many, and then it was 1 block into the first 10, the first block into the next 10. Then there was a gap, and then into the next block, it was like going over by 6. So it's like I had 1 line over here, and then on the next block we had 6. So if you can kind of figure that, like look at that. So all of those ones were accounted for. That one was accounted for, but these 3 ones here were just kind of floating in midair. So through 2 sections of this cross stitch is actually a line of 3 that I had to make up. So thank goodness I was crafty and clever enough, and that this pattern wasn't too terribly fixed. So I couldn't even tell you exactly where those panels are now that it's completed. But today, the last stitch, the 44,444 stitches, the crosses are done, which of course means 88,888 stitches, single stitches. So without further ado, in case you don't follow me over on Facebook, here we go. Is it upside down? It's upside down. Oh, you can't see. So there we go. That's her all complete. So pretty cool, huh? So it's taken 8 months to do. I'm pretty damn proud of myself. So yeah, happy days. She's all done. Oh. So Alex says that her tech is horrid, her socials are super awkward. Oh my God, I ended up on Monday accidentally sending one of my coworkers like 6 photos. One or two of them, I don't even know where they came from, along with a text message. And I'm like, and it was replying to something that was a little bit more personal. And I was just like, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't even know where that came from. So, yes. Fun and games with technology. Thank you, Melinda. Thank you. In all honesty, I was not actually the biggest fan of it when I first started. It's probably why it sat for so long. But the cool thing is that Alex really loves the color orange, and I haven't really known anybody that's like the color orange. Blues and stuff are also like my favorite. So it's kind of like a really nice combination of our two kind of things. So that's why it will stay with me, and I'll get it framed, or I'll frame it and we'll put it up somewhere. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, if you remember last week, I was talking about tea, and I asked Alex to count how many teas are in my caddy. Here is the caddy that I was talking about. See, here we go. If I go backwards enough, you can just see all of it. All right. And up here, we have the latch and the handle. Oops. Sorry, guys. And if I open the latch, and then I open the tea. Hi, Tamara. This is my tea caddy. So there are 55 teas here. And this isn't even all of them. So I actually made this using recycled stuff from all sorts of people, which was really cool. So like the board on the edge was architrave that was from my ex-father-in-law's stash. I made the inserts all made from packing sheets. From, I can't remember what that was from, but yeah, they're made from MDF packing sheets. The perspex came from another friend who had just had some left over. The only things that I've bought have been the little things like the magnets which hold these doors in place, the handle, the latches, the hinges. But other than that, everything else was, I think even the varnish that I've used was leftovers from another project from a friend of mine. So, oh yeah, maybe the paint. I did paint the inside of it green. So the cool thing is on this side is a little spot for my teaspoon. So not that there's any loose leaf teaspoon tea in this collection, because that's a whole other thing. I haven't made anything for that. That still sits in its boxes, its original boxes. But yeah, so there we go. That is the tea caddy. It's very heavy, as you can imagine, but it is now transportable. I can take 55 teas with me wherever I go if I wish to. There we go. So, show and tell. I love it. It's very impressive. And like when people come over and I say, oh, would you like a cup of tea? And they go, oh, yeah, please. And I'll go, okay, you must come and choose then. And they're like, oh, okay. Oh, dear. Yeah, it is big. Yep. I actually had a cardboard version of that one for a long time, and it was great. I loved it, but I was also ready to actually go through and fully do my prototype. Hi, Petra. Kia ora to you too. I love that you send me lots of Kiwi stuff. It's awesome. So talking about tea, I actually have it's called a Christmas tea, and it's got like a caramel and it's black tea, and it's very tasty. So I was like, I went on the hunt because I couldn't find it initially, and I was like, where are you? Where are you, my Christmas tea? Very yummy. I love it. But of course I save it for this time of year, or midwinter actually is another time of year. For those of you in the northern states, Christmas for us down here is not midwinter. Very much the opposite. So for my Adelaideans, I go out to you with all sympathies for yesterday and today. Yesterday was, and my car showed me in the afternoon, we hit 43 degrees. And I was doing, well, me and my little trainee, we're doing spring cleaning and windows and high up stuff and working in people's homes with no air conditioning whatsoever. So yeah, it was a hot, sticky one. My shirt was just like, all day. And I'm not a sweaty person. It takes quite a lot for me to start sweating. So to have that was just like, oh my, oh, I don't like this. I drank 3 liters of water minimum over the day. I also had another liter in the morning. So I drank 4 liters in the day and more when I got home. I had like a vitamin enriched drink as well. And I was just like, yeah. So thank goodness I've got good water. So yes, show and tell. And today, of course, was 31 up here in the Mount Barker. I think it was a bit different down the hill, but 31 degrees and stormy. So we went from hot, dry heat yesterday to 31 and storming. Hot as in 43 degrees. Whoa. Hi, Teresa. Thank you. Lovely to have you here. So, yes, I feel for you all, especially if you're in a house with no aircon. It sucks. It sucks even more if you're a worker with no aircon. So safe to say our car aircon units got a very good workout yesterday, traveling between jobs. So just shuffling these cards up for our weekly reading for the collective to run from 7th of December through to the 13th. Ooh, we've got Friday the 13th next week. That's cool. My mother was born on a 13. She would say that's a lucky number. So we're just asking the collective or the cards / our teams, please show us what we need to know for this next, or what we require to know for this next week, and how we can best work with these energies, the Mercury retrogrades, the moons, all the other planetary alignments going on right now. How can we best work with those over this next week? What's going to come up? Now, I know last week I mentioned that we might be a little bit sensitive, and that we might have a few moments where we might just kind of react a bit to things and kind of go, woof. And I can definitely say that was absolutely 100% true for me. I was so all over the place this week, and particularly on Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was. It was not a fun time for me in my head. Hi, Lisa. Kia ora to you too. Yeah. So, well, I'm curious to see what this week is going to bring us, because, oh my lordy, last week was not fun in a lot of ways. So let us see how we're going. All right. Oh, Dipsy, Thursday. Yeah, definitely. But I put it down to the heat for Thursday. I was, and with having to be up on ladders and stuff, I was trying to be really, really careful, because it's like I could feel my legs getting a little bit wobbly, and I was just like, oh, this is not good. So I was making sure I held on to stuff and things. But yes, dropping a lot of stuff this week. And just even before Thursday, it was just kind of like, oh my God, just there goes another thing. And I'm just like, oh my, stop it. Didn't break anything, thank goodness. But definitely there was a couple of moments there I was like, oh, come on already. Christmas tea in my Christmas teacup. Talking about Christmas teacups, before I go into this reading for this next week, I am curious to know, do you guys have any other funny little like quirks around things like vessels that you drink out of? So, for example, this is my glass. It is Bohemian crystal, and I will drink out of regular glass, but my body prefers crystal. And when it comes to tea, it has to be white on the inside of the cup. I don't like drinking tea out of a cup that is black on the inside or dark on the inside. It messes with my head and it doesn't feel right. So I'm curious, do any of you guys have something like that? Or am I just the only weird one out here? Petra says, it could be my knee was aching and then I realized I'd forgotten my anti-inflammatory meds for 3 days. Ooh, ouch. That's not fun. All right, so into this, while you guys tell me of your funny quirks, if you have any around your drinking vessels. Here's the start of the reading for this next week, from the 7th of December through to the 13th of December. We have we're going to call it my favorite card. It's patience. Oh my gosh, apparently we have to have some patience this week. Yay. Hi, Manjeet. And I am very, very curious to know, how do you guys feel about this particular card? I have been receiving the patience card for a very long time. I would say for, what am I, 46 now? So I would say for the last 16 years, at least, I have been getting this card on a very regular basis. And it's just the universe's way of saying, hey, just take a chill pill. Everything's going to work out. But just whatever's pissing you off right now, just relax and have a bit of a breather, okay? Because it's all going to work out, but you just got to give things a little bit of time. This next card is something that often happens for many of us around this time of year, is life review. So we've got what? 3 more weeks of this year left. So I challenge you now, and the thing that's coming to mind right now is, if you only had 3 more weeks to live, what would you choose? What would you do? What would you try to achieve in the next 3 weeks? And even if the next 3 weeks is just the first 3 weeks of the rest of your life, what would you choose then as well? Would you choose to sit around and feel glum and stinky bum about yourself or your life, or that somebody did something wrong or whatever? Or would you choose something different and choose to just live your life to the fullest? This is also a beautiful time, and I think this card or something similar to this will come up again, maybe in a couple more weeks. That's my prediction, because life review always pops up around New Year's. So that would be interesting to see if it does. So over the next 3 weeks, what is it that you would really desire to do, to be, to achieve, to have fun with, maybe? What is it? Life review. This also leads you into setting up crystal clear intentions for yourself. So over this next week, crystal clear intentions for the next 3 weeks, crystal clear intentions maybe for 2025. What is it that you would like to do in the next year? What sort of things can you put into place? What sort of steps can you start making? What sort of plans can you start getting into place right now, this particular week? Because that's what this is about. Or even just a little bit closer, crystal clear intentions about Christmas. How do you wish to see that going ahead? Do you wish to have something that's a little bit more easy this year? Do you wish to have something that's not so hectic? I know that when I've had all sorts of Christmases in the past. I've had ones by myself, which I loved the most. Just saying. But then I've had Christmases where I've had to go from this house to this house to this house. And it's just been like, oh my Lord, this is too much. Having to be at my house and then another house and then another house on a Christmas day. That was just like bonkers too much, because you're dealing with food and alcohol and people and all that for a lot of time. Or is it something around how much money you're going to spend? Is it, crystal clear intentions about what are your guys' actual viewpoints on gift giving and things like that? Is this the year, perhaps, and this is a conversation perhaps for maybe October, but having a think and maybe bringing up the possibility of simplifying that for the years moving forward, or think about contributing to the community or something else instead of, just buying each other silly things that are not necessary and or wanted. The next card that we have is leadership. So this card is coming up towards the end of the week. So is there some moments this week where you're being sort of nudged to be more of the leader in your surroundings, whether that be at home, at work, with the family? your friendship circles, your business. The leadership stuff is going to start coming up again this week. Okay, so the crystal clear intentions in the life review can also be to do with this leadership stuff. Like if you're being the true leader of your life, what would that actually look like? What would that feel like? So I get there's going to be a bit of reflection stuff happening this week, but also this one I see as being perhaps a little bit of, you're going to get a bit of a nudge or a bit of a challenge pop up this week that might just make you kind of go, right, how am I actually truly going to handle this one with kindness and compassion, but also strength? Because people at this time of year tend to slack off sometimes, and it can get very frustrating for those and the rest of the team or something like that. So just be aware that leadership stuff may come up. Lead by example. And just to round out, from patience at the start of the week to divine timing at the end, everything happens in its own divine time. And that is the next thing that we just have to be aware of, is that as much as we would like everything to happen now, me especially, and everything to be worked out and everything to be smooth sailing, sometimes some stuff has to fall apart before it will fall back together again. And so the divine order of things is this week is going to feel a little bit, I think towards the end of the week, we might be feeling a little bit chaotic. And it's going to potentially be a bit hectic as well. So I'm fully expecting you all to come into Friday next week going, oh my God, what a week. It's been up, it's been down, it's been raw. So I would hope and pray that you guys have a smooth and easy week, but that's not really what the cards are leading up for, unfortunately. I wish it was. So let us have a look at our yummy card. Frequency, interesting card to pick out for this week. So the frequency is the vibe that you're putting out. And be very aware of that. And this is where the leadership comes in too. So if you're a leader who is constantly like, guess what? Your team is not going to approach you. And that includes your partner. That includes your kids, if you've got any. That includes other family members. It includes people in the community. And it also obviously includes your workmates. So be aware that all of us are leaders. We don't always have like the title. We don't always have like supervisor or team leader or CEO or whatever, but you are the CEO of your own life. So be aware of the frequency that you're putting out, because the thing is, the frequency is matched. So, for example, even if you're just driving down the road, you are the leader of that car, right? So if you're the leader of the car and you're in this space of road rage, that's the that I was talking about. You have the responsibility to the other drivers on the road to calm your farm, to make sure that your frequency doesn't cause a car crash. And quite often when people are in car accidents, it's because they're in a space. They're not giving them, and they're really tight and contracted, right? They're not actually spacious. And because when you're spacious, there's space around you. When you're in a good, happy mood, it's like, yay. And you'll move and sway with the flow of the traffic because you'll be more aware of everything that's happening around you. might still have close calls, but you'll be way more aware. Interesting. So Lisa said, no, let me just go back up a little bit. So hopefully that helps you for this week to come. Melinda said, we have huge evaporative air coolers at work, and it depends on where you stand in the shop as to whether you get any cooler air blowing on you. I remember working in a childcare centre that had evaporative. It was horrendous in the summertime, absolutely horrible. But at the same time, it was still slightly better than being outside. Lisa said, when she surfs, she said, when I surf, I have to turn the board to my left when I need to turn to catch a wave. How interesting. I've never surfed in my life, so I have no concept of what that would feel like, but how cool. Petra, I have so much patience for other people, but not myself. Yep. A reminder to be as kind to myself. I hear you. Yeah, the self-kindness is a tricky thing, isn't it? Melinda, I like glass to drink out of, but for work I need to have good quality, not too many nasties, plastic big bottle. Indeed. So I, for work, have plastic, and much like you, but I have three bottles on the go at the moment. But when I'm at home, it's this all the way. All right. So, Edwina, my sweet, you are our very first person up today. Thank you so much for your very kind donation. If you could please pop your question in the chat so we can display it and know what we are aiming for this evening. It's going to be an interesting week. What can I say? A very interesting week. There's Edwina's team. She's just stepped into the house. I love it. I've been trying to figure out some like other Christmas presents and things. But it's tricky because it's like, it is one of those times of year you can go a bit nuts. And I'm like, I kind of don't. I wish to be thoughtful in my gifts this year. And yeah, which has given me an idea for something. So, yay. Yeah. There's still a little part of me that kind of goes, you got to work. You got to look at what's happening in your home space too, and like as a not house home, but as a community. It's like, how can I help the community a little bit more this year? So I'm having a look at that. Okay. That's why they picked these cards. Interesting. So, Edwina, I've already started shuffling these cards for you. It was the Mystical Healing reading cards from Ines Segal. So, how cool is that? Your team already talking to me. I love it. I'm so pleased to be finished that big project though. So good. When Melinda asked me, when did you start that? And I was like, around the start of the year. And yeah, it was. But it wasn't until February. Like, wow. I've done so much. I'm looking forward to seeing how my next project comes through. I'm not sure I can show you that one. Simply because there is a naked boob. And you know how the socials feel about boobs. Even if it's in art, it can get a bit funky about it. Whew. Edwina, you've been rather hot, my love. Okay. Oof. Got lots of things. Okay. Because we love what Inna Segal has to say about these cards, and you just take from this what resonates for you, okay? So this one here is develop stronger concentration, become more detailed and effective in all you do. Acute concentration enables you to think in a cohesive, harmonious way. By learning to deepen your concentration, you will be able to delve into a more profound understanding of life, make better decisions, and effectively work with life-changing healing and spiritual processes. As long as your attention is dispersed on the outside world, you are not refining your inner self. Correct concentration removes nervousness and fear and helps you focus your attention on what enriches and enlivens you. Improving your availability to concentrate also awakens your imagination and ability to visualize. It is a powerful step to developing your intuition. The more you concentrate, the more you start to identify the small details that make all the difference in every area of life. Excellent concentration also allows you to become extraordinary in any field of study and to dramatically improve your memory. All right. So your team is telling you that you have to sort of not get so distracted so easily. Okay. Your next card is, to get this might be to do with your family stuff. So it says temper your criticism. Become discerning instead of critical. Okay, so if you have a look, it's like that whole see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil type setup with this one. When you are critical, you harden yourself and literally put energetic knives into others. Okay, this is probably relevant to some others here. If you find yourself being a bit critical of others. You also block yourself from becoming a more refined, sensitive, intuitive human being. Your healing pathways get blocked and your bones and muscles begin to degenerate. When you are harsh and critical with yourself, you lose your life force energy, your self-esteem, and you become depressed. Your ability to be flexible, think deeply, and receive new, higher wisdom is also limited. Start looking for what is good, holy, and beautiful in each person. Develop discernment whilst still encouraging yourself and others to grow. Try to see things from several angles in order to create more objectivity and gentleness in your counsel. Practice self-kindness. This card asks that you start to experience yourself, others, and the world from a more compassionate point of view. Look at every challenge as a possibility for growth. All right. And if it's not just growth of yourself, like if you're like going, oh my God, why doesn't this person do this way? Oh, this is so frustrating. This is a possibility and a point in time where you can learn to grow yourself. And how can you better express that to them without trying to rip their heads off? just a thought, you know. The clue is in the next card, which is, interestingly, sideways. It's a tricky hard card to walk. There we go. See if I can hold it up a little bit closer for you. There you go. This is unlock your heart. Pain can cleanse the way to profound wisdom. If you keep protecting yourself from being hurt, you will stop yourself from experiencing an intimate, delicious, earth-shattering, life-enhancing, sacred relationship. When a protected heart bursts open, there is pain, sadness, fear, rejection, brokenness, and a host of other unprocessed emotions. But nothing compares to the possibility of listening, trusting, and following the ancient wisdom that lives in a heart that has gone through pain, struggle, and loss, and has come out on the other side with warmth, humility, compassion, and selfless action. An open heart is your true guide towards your greatest goodness. Goodness you can give and goodness you can receive. So don't allow pride, hurt, and fear to keep this most exquisite part of you yourself cut off. Instead, listen and allow this part to have opportunity to guide you towards self-knowledge and intimate knowledge of another who you yearn for. Allow all that is love in. Okay? So when we're looking at tempering our criticism, one of the best ways to do that is to go into the heart space and go, okay, well, if I'm coming from my heart space, so I'm coming from my kindness and wisdom and compassion and all of that sort of stuff, how would I express this? How would I let the person know that this could be better, this could be done better, we could connect better on this way? Because sometimes people just don't know. They don't know how to do whatever. They're not aware. They're not, they have their interpretation of things and it goes completely wonky. So it's like you've got one person here saying something and you've got one person here receiving that message, but somewhere in the middle it gets all screwy. And this person thinks that they're saying one thing, this person thinks that they're saying something else, and it's all up to shit. And then this person gets defensive, and then this person gets defensive, and everything breaks down. But if both of them were working from their heart space, or at least one of them was, then maybe, just maybe, the message would be more well received and expressed or expressed. Okay? This is where being that leader of your life comes in really, really helpful. Your next card is another clue as to help you with your health. So if you haven't gathered in spirit, in direct relation to your health, you're stressed, you're being highly critical, and you're blocking off your heart space right now. Okay, which is creating a lot of body issues for you, as in wellness. It's like you're just sort of a little bit blocked off in different areas of your life. Okay. And it could even, and the criticism of yourself, not just of other people. Okay. The next card, I should say, is number 19, which is listen to your guardian angel. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? You are being guided in a new direction. You are never alone. Your guardian angel is always there for you, protecting you from harm and guiding you by creating images within your soul. Your angel knows the best path for you to follow and is trying to guide you in a new direction. This path might be different from what you envisaged, but if you are willing to trust, you will be gifted access to a diverse world of possibilities, which will lead you towards the most beneficial experiences for you and others. Your guardian angel is trying to help you become more kind to yourself and others. It asks you to spend more time in meditation and prayer, focusing on understanding more about your higher nature, in particular, what is eternal and truly meaningful for you and the world, as opposed to what is transient. So I would say this card in particular is that line there about they're trying to help you become more kind to yourself and others. So that links back into the criticism thing, right? To do with your health again. So the other reason why that guardian angel card has come up is because that is trying to show you that through your health, you are being led in a different direction. I get that that's probably to do with work. There's maybe some things that are not quite right, and it's not sitting well with you. And so therefore your angels are starting to step in to say, hey, well, your spirit team is like saying, hey, like we're helping to facilitate your way out of this, to go into something that will actually work for you better. This next one is an interesting one though, given that last one. Stop breaking agreements. Allow others to develop trust in you. How often do you say that you're going to do something to a colleague, a friend, a family member, or yourself and then do nothing? Could be as simple as saying that you're going to meet someone at 2 p.m. and then showing up late without calling, texting, or taking responsibility. Every agreement you break attaches like an energetic link to all the other agreements that you have broken in your life and all the other people who also don't care about breaking agreements. This massive chain weighs you down and sucks the life force out of you whilst hooking you into the vibration of failure. Keeping your agreements helps others to trust you and feel safe around you and offers you new opportunities. It's also a sign of great respect for yourself and others. Successful people don't break agreements. If they do, they recognize this straight away, take responsibility, and make amends for the broken agreement by doing something extra. So this is an interesting card because I see two different things here. There's obviously this kind of like a chain-like thing that's coming across here. But when I look at it, I'm seeing it like almost like two separate images. It's like this is one part of it where it looks like mountains, a path leading through mountains. And then this looks like a ribbon going around her dress or a part of her dress. So that's my brain's doing interesting things there. But the other part that's really interesting here is this character. She's actually wearing a blindfold. So as far as your health goes, I'm seeing those two things as being you've wrapped yourself up in a whole bunch of chains of past choices that are now really weighing you down. And then you're basically being blinded by your own choices. So it's time to take off that blindfold, be very brutally honest with yourself and others, and start holding true to what you've agreed to, whatever that is. Okay. Hi, Shwana. Christine, this is from the Mystical Healing Oracle, one of the cards from Ina Segal. Okay. All right. Now, I do love your team because your team is fantastic at telling you exactly what you require to do to get through this next stage. Okay. And they're telling you that you must awaken your vulnerability. So if I hold it like that, you can have a pretty good look at that card while I'm reading it out. Allow others to meet your unprotected heart. To be vulnerable with your feelings requires profound courage and a decision to break the hard shell of protection that keeps you separated, isolated, and afraid of others. Vulnerability connects you to the most hidden aspects of your soul. In this exploration, you have the possibility of discovering your most intimate, delicate, creative, surprising aspects. This may require you to develop a more understanding and compassion for yourself and your life's journey, whilst at the same time moving past the pain of rejection or abuse you may have experienced which caused you to shut down. Whilst it's important to keep certain people at a distance, there are others who are already in or about to come into your life. These people can hold space for you to step into a soft, honest, gentle exploration of your heart melody. I love that, your heart melody. Aww. If you refuse and keep suppressing your feelings, you will become exhausted, numb, frustrated, and cold. It's time to warm your heart and start being more in touch with what is happening inside your body. What pain are you holding in your lungs, heart, throat, kidneys in particular? Cool. All right. So there we go. So the interesting thing I see about this is that as far as your health goes, I can see you're stressed. I can see that the stress is the result of you hardening your space. There's too much independence going on here. You're not allowing other people in very much, and including your team. Your team is like going, hey, hi, we're here to help. And you're just like, And as a result, you become a bit of a tough nut. And people are finding it like the people around you are finding it harder and harder to connect in with you. And as a result, you're now feeling isolated. You're stressed and isolated, and things are going wonky with your body. And you're like, And I'm getting like possible sinus teeth issues. Interesting. That can happen if you're clenching your jaw a lot, even in your sleep. We tend to work out and work through a lot of stress in our sleep. But I'm getting, you might even have some ear stuff going on because I can feel an ache in my ear. And your yummy card is dream. So what are your dreams? What do you dream to do? Are you at a space now where you're going, is this it? Is this life? And if you are, just get the sense that you just might be. That's a really, really big sign that it's time for you to start looking at what is in your heart. What are the things that really light you up that you've totally forgotten about because you've got so many responsibilities? Here's the thing, if you actually start paying attention to some of those smaller things, the things that light you up, the things that make you smile, the things that help you to find your gratitude, and then you in turn express more gratitude for everything, your vulnerability will start to open up as well. And then people will start to be able to connect with you more, and then your heart and everything will start to soothe and calm. And then because you'll be listening better, your team will be able to communicate with you better. Your jaw will loosen up, which, you know, if your jaw is loosening up, then you've actually got space to think. There we go, Edwina. Thank you for your reading tonight. I appreciate you so, so much. And I know you do so much for your family and for the people that you work for and all that sort of stuff. You have a very busy life, and I know it's hard to think, how on earth am I meant to carve out a little bit of time for me? But that's what your team is asking you to do. And as soon as you start making yourself a little bit more of a priority, in your happiness and your peace and your calm a little bit more of a priority, I get the sense that other things will start calming down somewhat. Okay? Breathe. Find 5 things to be grateful for every single day, at the very least. Start off with 5. I am grateful for whatever it is because blah, 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 blah. Okay? Mwah. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your very kind donation has helped to keep Find Your Fridays running. So grateful. Especially because I realized that the fees for keeping this show, like the streaming platform, has either, I don't recall it being so expensive, but it's either gone up a lot or the currency conversion has changed heaps. But I swear it's like twice as much as it was 3 years ago. And I'm like, what the hell happened? So again, super grateful to you for your very kind donation. Alrighty. Doop-a-doo, boop-a-doo. There we go. We have Christine. Can you pop your question in? I didn't see your question up there already. You usually pop it in there, but I haven't seen it. Oh, I tell a lie. Here it is. We're back to the dentist again, huh? All right. Okie-dokie. Cool. And show me the no. Cool. All right, coming back to center. This amethyst is really heavy, so it takes a little bit of time to get it to still. All right. So truth, what will it create for Christine in 1,000 years' time if she goes with Dr. Dunn for her crown dental? Okay, that's going around in circles, which is usually a hasn't decided yet. Truth, what will it create? So if I just steal that. Truth, what will it create in 1,000 years if Christine goes with Dr. Edwin for her crown dental? Interesting. All right, let's try with a different one. See what we get. Lava kite. Let's see what the lava kite says. Okay. Yes. And no. Thank you. Okay, back to center. Thank you. So, truth, what will it create for Christine if she goes to Dr. Dunn for her crown dental? Interesting. Truth, what will it create? Truth, what will it create if Christine goes to Dr. Edwin for her crown dental? It might look like a no to you guys, but that's actually going around in circles. Okay, what else can we ask? Okay, we'll use this one because it's more financial stuff. Truth. What will it create for Christine in 1,000? No, let's expand it out somewhat because obviously 1,000 years isn't far enough. So, truth, what will it create in 100,000 years if Christine goes with Dr. Dunn for her dental work? Still going around in circles, my friends. So, truth, what will it create in 100,000 years if Christine goes with Dr. Edwin for her dental work? This has to be a first time ever, my friend. Both options are could be a yes, could be a no, undecided. So, a referral from an engineer who lives in the same area where I live. Just don't want it to hurt and costs. Okay. That's a good question to ask. So, truth. Let me see if I can just word that in a question that's a bit more open. See, the what will it create covers pretty much all of that sort of stuff. So, truth. Will Dr. Dunn treat Christine's body and teeth with kindness and compassion? That's a yes. Okay, so truth, will Dr. Edwin treat Christine's body and teeth with kindness and compassion? That's also a yes. Okay. Let's ask this in a slightly different way. Truth, is Christine's body preferring Dr. Dunn or Dr. Edwin? Okay, so truth, does Christine's body prefer Dr. Dunn? Truth, does Christine's body prefer Dr. Edwin? He's a slight little bit more of a yes on Dr. Edwin. They will both be good for you. They will both treat your body with kindness and respect. They will both do their best to make sure that you're not in pain. Your body has a very ever so slight preference. And I mean slight. It's so minute to go to Dr. Edwin rather than Dr. Dunn. But either choice will be great for you. So at the end of the day, it's your health, your body. Use your intuition to know what is going to work best for it. And like you saw, they were both like, anything could happen. Like it's okay. Like anything, it's all good. There's no. It's kind of like dental surgery is always going to be tricky. Because there's so many things, like any surgery, there's so many things that could go wrong. And there's also so many things that could go right. So use your intuition. And if it's a financial thing, then ring them both and ask them, what's this potentially going to cost me? And if it comes down to price for you, then either will be fine, from what I can see. But it's at the end of the day, it's totally up to you. I'm not a doctor. And it is important that you choose what works for you. Okie dokie. So thank you for your donation to Find Your Fridays, Christine. I am so grateful for you. I love how you bring these interesting questions to our space and you allow me to practice my pendulum work. It's always fun. All right. Melinda. We haven't done a reading for you for a little while, so this is fun. The other thing, Christine, is as much as we don't want anything to hurt, it probably will. Even if it's just the injections going in, it's all going to hurt. But it's to the degree of hurt. So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure they will do their absolute best to make sure that you feel the most comfortable. Da-da-da. I love that feeling of a team stepping out and the other one stepping in. It's like, quite refreshing, actually. Especially for you guys who listen to your teams a lot. So they just kind of like step in and they're very calm and relaxed. But when I get someone who doesn't listen to their team a lot, it's like they come in like a raging bull and it's like, we're like, oh, Jesus. Okay, here we go. And it reminds me of one of the first psychic fairs I went to. And it was not too long after my dad had died. And my sister had found some pieces of jewelry that he had stored away for me. But bearing in mind, we didn't have any contact for 20 years. So it was kind of like a little bit like, whoa, I can't believe that he had these things stored for me. Like, wow. Kind of just goes, yeah, because even though I'm your dad and I haven't had any contact with you for all that time, I still cared because I'm your dad, you know. So I received those after he passed, and I took one of them, which was a little wee amethyst necklace, and the lady who was doing the reading for me, she's like, whoa, okay. Right. Actually, there was that and power shell flower, carved power shell flower pattern. And she's like, looked at the amethyst and she's like, Oh, yes, he's got a lot to say about this. This one's just nice, and he just wanted you to have it. He thought of you when he saw it, and he wanted you to have it. It's just like, but he's very insistent, and he's very loud right now. And back in those days, I didn't kind of comprehend what she was saying, but I just kind of went, oh, okay. You know, I had no idea. Now I do, and it can be quite full on when some people's teams step in, and it can almost show up as like a really loud ringing in my ears, and my ear can get like really hot. And yeah, it's fun. But nothing like that with Melinda's team. We're very familiar with each other. And Melinda talks to her team a lot as well, which is great. Just great. Ooh. 111, Melinda. That's how long the show's been running. Right. So in saying that, Melinda, your team is asking you to connect more to the divine. Now, as you know, because of our lovely long journey this year, the divine is also the goddess within. And so, which is also your big your largest self, your desires, your all of that sort of stuff. So during the week, especially when you're working and you're tired and you're hot and you're and your team's just asking you to not forget that you are a divine goddess, and to keep tapping in with that, even when all the other external stuff is trying to be a bit of a distraction, whether that be the heat or work or whatever's going on. Okay. They're encouraging you to develop your mental clarity. So interesting that it's in purple, right? Because purple, as we know, is our third eye chakra. I'm curious. I get the feeling that this is to do with work stuff. So when you're having those moments of feeling like you're getting a little bit more foggy in the brain, pick up those purple things. Pick out maybe a bit of jewelry that is purple, or underwear that is purple, so that you can wear that and have it with you to help develop your mental clarity. Maybe even if you haven't got those things at your disposal, before you go to work, grab the piece of amethyst as you're walking out the door and hold it, or have it with you, put it in your lap as you drive your car, and just have that as part of your, I know you do a lovely ritual in the morning, but have this as developing your mental clarity. Find purple flowers or anything like that to just bring that in a little bit more. Okay, your next one is violet. So yeah, two purpley ones at the same time, which is to create a balanced life. How funny that it just fell out of my hands. Creating a balanced life. So on your days off, make the absolute most of them. Be mindful of how you're managing your time, and make sure you're giving yourself enough time to rest in between. I know that this time of year is fucking nuts with retail and all that sort of stuff, so I do get it. believe me, I get it. We still have to just take those small amounts of time that we can just to come back to the divine. Okay, so create that balance. And this is a perfect time to do that. If you can create balance at this time of year, you'll be smashing it for the rest of the year. Right. So in creating the balance, it's not just about getting the chores out the way and all that sort of stuff. It's about awakening your creativity. So this amber color, interesting, is like it's an orangey color, right? Which of course is your sacral, but I actually see this as sitting slightly between the solar and the sacral. It's like you're sort of bringing those two in. So there's something that is waiting for you to be a bit more creative about. Okay. So yeah, I'm resting as best as I can. I have been called in quite a few times lately, but I know I feel when I am tired. Yeah, absolutely. The creativity part is a really interesting thing. So I'll refer back to my cross stitch. That is something that I have been able to do this year, even though I've been busy. And it's because I realize it's something I can do. It's creative. I can pick it up. And even if I only do 5 stitches, I've done something. I've been creative. And it's helped me to keep a bit more balanced. So what is something that you can do that is allowing you to be just that little bit more creative, whether it be food or in the garden, or, you know, it doesn't have to be a big bunch of energy, but it can be just something small. Okay, I'm going to come home tonight and after work, and I'm going to repot a plant that I know needs to be done. That's awakening your creativity, and it's tapping into your divine goddess side of things. Okay, little things, doesn't have to be big. All right. And because your team is so awesome and they really want you to hear it, they've said to be persistent. So persistently connect to the divine, persistently develop your mental clarity, persistently create your balanced life, and persistently awaken your creativity. So your persistence will pay off. It's those little small increments that will help you. Even if it's like, I'm so done, I'm hot, I'm tired, all the rest of it. How can you persistently create something yummy for yourself for, you know, maybe your shower at the end of the day? I have 3 different shower gels that I use, and one of them I've saved for those days when I'm tired and I'm cranky and I'm just like, ugh. That's how I help myself to connect in with the divine. Because it's like it's that moment of being softer, that moment of going, here's something special I put aside for you for later. Well, now is the later that I've been waiting for. So maybe it's something like that. What is something that you can bring into your life that you can have like set aside just for those moments where you're feeling a little bit more tired and a little bit more like, oh, I'm so done. I'm done with people. I'm done with everything. I'm done with exercise in my brain. I'm freaking done. Go have a shower. And it's like, oh, this is lovely. It's just like, doesn't have to stretch you, but it's something lovely for you. So that would be your beautiful message. And now let us, and it also helps with the rest and all that sort of thing. If you're going, oh. I also love that you have your little Facebook, not little, you have your Facebook group and you are expressing your creativity there quite often. Continue to do that. All right. Keep sharing your magic. Keep sharing your gifts. Keep sharing your yumminess. Because I get the sense that this is one of those pivotal moments in your life where you're gonna find that you're stepping into something much bigger and unexpected. And this is kind of like you're stepping very much into the fire in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it's a good thing. This is one of those moments in life where you're just gonna go, at the moment it feels like, ugh! But it's going to shift and change, and I get the sense that your life is going to continue to grow in a big exponential beautiful way. But this is like where you're putting in those real you're strengthening your foundation right now, which is why these cards are coming out. So it's like, yeah, you're going to be fine. You're going to be great. And thank you. Thank you for your very kind donation for Find You Fridays. I'm so super grateful for you. You're helping to keep the show running, and I appreciate that a lot. Wow. My computer is so awesome. Aw, thank you, Christine. You're welcome. I do love doing them. I really, really do. You guys always brighten up my Friday evenings, and I know it's your Thursday morning, but I am very grateful for you too, Christine. All right. Tamara, Sweet Pea, can you please pop in your question? Oh, I love having short hair. Okay. Melinda says, awesome. Thank you so much for this beautiful reading. I appreciate you as well. And my team. You are all awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's tomorrow. Bye-bye, Melinda's team. Bye-bye. And Tamara's team is stepping in. Awesome. Oh, Tamara, you got some interesting stuff going on. Christine says, even though I can't go global, at least I can go global other countries through the internet. Yes, exactly. Oh, Shwana, you're a little sweetheart, aren't you? Oh, love it. No. Ah, Sonia was here for a bit, or she might still be here. Hi, Sonia. I don't always check to see who's floating around, so I'm so grateful to everybody. Oh. That's so cool. All right, Tamara. Let me see who wishes to come and play with you. I did wonder if these cards were going to come out today. I can see who's been around for a while because I've just noticed that my banner is not rolling across the bottom. And I'm okay with that today because you guys who are awesome, you've figured out how to do the, paid readings and stuff like that. And put a little donation through, and I really, really do appreciate it. And it's not to say that I don't wish for more donations. I'm just like, I forgot. And you guys have been awesome anyway. So thank you. How did I get so lucky to have such incredible viewers and friends? And because I feel like you guys are my friends. Like you guys just connecting in, we're all connecting in on a Friday, and it just feels amazing. And you know, I don't often these days get to connect with too many people because I'm working and they're all working and kids and partners and all that sort of jazz. But I get to connect with you guys every Friday, and it just feels great. I have to say, it feels really, really nice. I do a lot of people-y stuff during the week, so I get to chill out generally on a Friday, except if I do a wee session or something like that comes up, which is cool. I like that too. Oh, okay, tomorrow. So immediately, what I was feeling was mid-back stuff, sort of about probably, how much is that? 2 inches below the bra line, across the back, sort of, I guess, low ribs. It was like just a big twinge of energy through there on both sides. It was kind of like the back was kind of going. What else is happening? Something's happening. I probably hang on. It's pushing the energy around at the moment through from like around here, and it's sort of floating almost through here, which is my left eye. Okay. So, Tamara, why I went is because you got the Heal Yourself Oracle. Okay. Again, by Ina Segal. We call these, I think you are familiar with these cards, but for those people who are not, I call them the kick-ass cards because these are the cards that will tell you the things that you don't necessarily want to hear. So let us have a look and see what we have going on here. Two days making sandwiches. My Lord, what have you been up to? You must have a big family to be spending 2 days making sandwiches. Or are you contributing to the society or something major? Like that sounds like that's pretty epic to be making sandwiches for 2 days. Unless you work at Subway, in which case that makes sense. So immediately I'd be saying take more stretching breaks. Like I said, Subway. Stretch. So I do a lot of, I'm very lucky with my job in that when I'm on the tools, I get to do a lot of reaching and stretching. You know, I do a lot of that throughout my day. Cafe catering, same sort of deal. But when you're doing that kind of work, bench work, it's just a lot of that, and it's a lot of this, right? I'm not telling you anything you didn't know, but your body ends up doing a lot of very similar or same repetitive movements, and it's not enough. And so the muscles get a lot of lactic acid buildup in certain areas. So on Thursday, even though I drank 3 liters of water over the day, it still wasn't quite enough. And I felt my body going into like a little bit of like lactic buildup. And I had aches through here. I had aches through my shoulders. I had aches in my thighs because I've been doing a lot of squatting. So it's great. It's great. But what I'm getting for you is that it might be an idea to take more stretch breaks. So, you know, that one. Doing the ones where it's like you put your hand on the wall and then stretch back like that is a really good one for stretching up all of those muscles in there. Sometimes, I don't know if you've got a massage table, or maybe you can do this on the couch perhaps, but if you put your lower half of your body on the massage table and then you stretch down like that, so you're touching the floor, and so you're at a 90-degree angle, right? So there's your feet down here, come to your waist here, and you let your upper part of your body dangle down like that. It'll help to stretch. It'll help to stretch the body down and just give the muscles a slightly different way of working rather than being upright or flat. There we go. Apparently that you needed to know all of that. And we'll go. Cool. So let us have a look at the family and tribe card to start off with. So that's number 20. Be very discerning with other people's opinions. Become aware of how the beliefs of your family and tribe are influencing you. What did you learn about relationships, money, and opportunities when you were younger? Ask yourself, am I still carrying some of those outdated beliefs? Am I trying to seek love and approval from my family by doing what they want me to do? An important question to ask yourself is whether you are living your life in order to make someone else or yourself happy. This card asks you to examine your loyalties, family beliefs, superstitions, and rituals that have power over you. Let go of anything that is not serving you. You are also being asked to face your fears of being different and embrace your uniqueness, even if others don't understand or approve of your actions. Working often with your energy centers, in particular the root chakra, can help you to release past limitations and hurts and increase your confidence and help you manifest your desires into physical reality. The funny thing that was coming out as I was reading this and knowing that what you do, it was reminding me of this reel or shorts or whatever it is, one of those short video thingies that pops through, and where it comes from I don't know, but it's actually a cupcake or a donut making cafe, and one of the staff member that is there, she just makes absolutely wackadoodle creations in relation to whatever else is on display. And I don't know if it's her dad or her husband, but it's one or the other, who was also there in the shop. He's like, oh no, what have you made this time? But at the same time, you can tell he loves it. I'm pretty sure it's donuts, because she'll make several of them and they'll get sold out every single time. So they might be a themed type thing or whatever, but that's her expressing creativity, right? And just not necessarily adhering to what the other members of the family are expecting. They're expecting chocolate donuts with sprinkles, and she comes out with an American flag. Oh dear. Melinda says, we have to do certain stretches before we start our shifts at my work. I have also been incorporating them into my morning routine of stretches as well. That's awesome. I love that you have that, Melinda. I think that a lot more workplaces should do that. Next card is oh, it's my favorite card in the world, Tamara. I say that because it was in the weekly reading as well. It is patience. Patience. Oh, we love patience. You must develop patience in all areas of your life. Patience does not mean that you give up and do nothing. On the contrary, you need to be aware of several aspects of the circumstance that you are facing. Patience requires you to stop pushing, rushing, and creating potentially explosive situations. Instead, it asks you to see the bigger picture and become aware of the ingredients that might be missing. If you are impatient with a particular person, instead give them space. Avoid jumping to conclusions and making up dramatic stories about a person or a situation without being aware of all the details. You have an opportunity to let go of judgment. Always look for the truth of the situation, not what someone is saying or doing, but why. Patience can also be connected to a health condition you are recovering from, a new diet or exercise program you have embarked on, or a new course of study you may have begun. Focus on one thing at a time. Say to yourself, I accept what is without judgment. I am willing to practice patience and presence. Breathe slowly and deeply while focusing on what is. Be aware of the air hitting your nostrils and lungs. Soften and relax. Be the explorer of the present moment. Discover what is magical, beautiful, and serene in this moment. If you're feeling unwell or stressed, just allow yourself to explore these feelings with the awareness that they will pass. Bloody patience. Oh dear. I don't know what your relationship is to patience, but mine is not always good. I have had to develop a appreciation for patience. I have patience is some things, like obviously when I'm being creative and things like that, and it's like I know that things are just going to take time. Some stuff will take 8 months. Other things I'll be able to take only a couple of hours. And it truly does. It depends on the external circumstances. Yeah. So, apparently this is a perimenopause thing. Itchy ears. Go figure. So it's like, where is an area of your life that you have a lot of patience that you can then go, well, if I can have a lot of patience in that area, what would it take if I then apply that to this area? So, for example, something happened for me on Thursday, and I was put in a situation where I walked into something that I was not expecting. It's like, and I got angry because I was like, this is not okay that this is this way. And I had enough knowing of myself to go, I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm probably a little bit dehydrated right now. The situation, sure, it's making me angry, but this is not the time to take it further. I have to have a little bit of patience to dial this down and look at this more objectively. And so I haven't brought it up with the relevant people yet. And the interesting thing is that I'd said to my coworker that I was working with that day that I was just, I said to him exactly that. I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm probably a little bit dehydrated, angry, etc. But this is not the time for me to pass this on yet. And he goes, that's so cool that you know that about yourself. And I'm like, yeah. So getting that knowing of how you work is because I was like, if I bring this up now, I'm going to say things that I'm going to regret. And it will come out very, very rough. And this is not the time of day for that. So let's just put a cork in it and just set it over there till Monday. Yeah, knowing things that take time and being an allowance of that's two totally different things. Alex, you feel tired? Oh, that's okay. You can go to sleep. You're welcome to. Soulmate is your next card. Interesting card to pick. Open your heart and invite sacred love. Your soulmate is not far from you. To connect with them, you need to open your heart and call them in to have patience. Okay. Call them in and have patience. If you are not ready to accept your soulmate, keep working on self-love. You will be drawn to your soulmate like a magnet and feel an immense sense of familiarity, like you have known them before. Your capacity to love will increase dramatically and you will experience higher states of consciousness. No one can touch your heart in the same way that a soulmate can. It is important to note that your soulmate will not necessarily be your partner. He or she can come in completely different form other than what you have imagined, but they will offer you incredible wisdom, growth, and expansion. Be aware that we connect with our soulmates when we are ready to truly evolve and move to the next level of consciousness and life experience. We attract them into our lives when we require to open our hearts fully and learn about unconditional love. Yeah, a theme. I know, right? Oh dear. Let us have a look at the next one. My third eye. She's itchy. It might be time to open your third eye. Do some third eye stuff. Actually, that feels bruised. Interesting. Interesting. Over here in front of me, Alex has these beautiful flags, similar to the one behind me, but they're different. Each of them are different. And I just looked up at the one for the third eye, and it says, I honor my intuition. I accept my path. I am healing body, mind, and spirit. So obviously there's something in there for you. The next one you got is beauty. Recognize your inner and outer beauty. You are beautiful, special, unique, and attractive. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and felt good about what you see? Did you know that your features can literally change based on how you feel about yourself and life? Your internal experiences are etched on your face and your body. People can feel your energy when you enter a room. When a person who is not thought of as being physically good looking connects to their own inner light, wisdom, and warmth, the glow that emanates from within makes them extremely appealing and attracts people and opportunities towards them. Focus on what you love about yourself and allow yourself to shine. If you are challenged by how you see yourself, this could be a perfect time for an internal and an external makeover. I have a how funny that this has come up after the soulmate thing, right? So it's like, hey, did you know that you're actually quite gorgeous? Secret squirrel. But you know, there's a special someone out there for you. But you need to start seeing that you're gorgeous first, because you are. And it's time. It's time for you to start playing with that field. I love it. But then there's the next card. I'm like, your team, seriously. But I think I know what this one is about. And this one is in relation to the previous two. and why you might be feeling gun shy is the word I'm hearing. Rejection. Use rejection to grow, expand, and build yourself. Feeling rejected can disconnect you from your heart and soul and immobilize you. Rather than buying into rejection, focus on how you can grow, learn, and improve from your experiences. If you are a writer and you sent your articles or a book to a publisher and they have rejected it, then try to hone your writing skills and then send your work out to several other publishers. Use that rejection as a motivating force to succeed. If a person that you have feelings for or a deep love towards has rejected you, then work on healing your heart and recognizing that there is someone out there who is more suited to you. Many people use rejection as an excuse to close down, become suspicious, guarded, and give up. Then they hurt and reject others. They hide behind rejection and never give themselves an opportunity to take a leap of faith and find their life calling and heal. By picking this card, you are being urged to hold yourself in a higher regard. Keep your heart open and trust that you have learned from your experiences and not make the same mistakes again. So again, there's a little bit of patience in there, but it's like I said, this is that beautiful moment of going, all right, I've been battered and bashed about a little bit. I've had a few life experiences, but how can I turn them into my best advantage? Like if you're a baker and you've had a cake flop, right? Do you give up just because you've had one flopped cake? Or do you go into that sort of investigative mode, that scientific mode of going, well, okay, did I have all the correct ingredients measured out correctly? Did I fluff my flour? Did I make sure that I had, put enough butter and flour on the edge of the tin so that it didn't stick? Did I actually have the oven warmed up correctly? Did I have it at the right temperature? Is my oven actually heating to the right temperature? As I discovered with our oven the other day. It's like I've been here over a year, but I still hadn't quite figured this oven out yet. And even if all of those things are correct, did I mix it properly in the correct order? Did I let it sit in the pan for long enough? Were my eggs okay? There's so many things. And rejection can be just the same. It's a beautiful, wonderful time to look at where can I improve? What can I shift and change? And there's not to say that there's anything wrong with you, but it's like, how can I improve upon this amazing thing that I already have? Like if you guys saw me an hour or so before the show, you wouldn't have seen this, right? My hair was all over the place and there was no makeup going on or anything like that. But I know that if I showed up to you guys like that, you'd be like, what the fuck is this woman on? And that's okay. I'm still beautiful even that way. I share photos of that, myself like that with my soul sister. We have a great giggle about it. But at the same time, I love knowing what I can do to shift and change and be what I'm required to be the best cake possible. Oy. Metaphors. Now, we have one more card for you. Your card was soften. Yeah. So, Tamara, your message is like, just be a bit more easy on yourself and those around you. And still hold yourself to a high standard, but just breathe. Open up and breathe. Be generous with your compliments and your praise. Be generous with your love. Be generous with your kindness and your compassion and your unconditional love. And when there's all of that going on, so much more is possible. Thank you, Tamara, for your very kind donation. I'm so appreciative of that. You are literally helping to keep the show running, and I am so incredibly grateful. Alrighty. I hope you enjoyed that one. It was fun. I will admit I do sometimes get a little nervous when I see these cards coming out. Only pretty much because, number one, time and time again, they have been the kick-ass cards, but at the same time, the first time when I first got them and I did a reading for myself, and I was just like, oh, fuck no. These, wow. So spot on, but it was like scary spot on. You know what that's like? And it was like, oh no. How did I do that? It's just like, okay. So we're just gonna put these cards away now. They can go over there. Yeah. I'll think about that particular message later. Yeah, there are some lovely comforting cards in there, but goodness gracious, they can really, they're really a slap you around the head with a 4x2 kind of moment cards. It's quite fascinating because, of course, the mystical healing ones. See, I find that the Secret Language of Color cards, which was my first introduction to Ina Segal's cards, they're very gentle, very easy, very like palatable for pretty much anybody. They're great cards for somebody who's just beginning oracle card reading and all of that sort of stuff. Confronting. Yes, confronting. Correct. I was misreading. I was having a magical eye moment. Then I found, because I've only got 3 of her decks, but the mystical healing ones kind of sit in the middle between the color cards and the heal yourself cards. Like, I find the mystical healing ones are just a little bit more gentle than these ones, but are still more little bit more in your face than what the color cards are. I like the color cards a lot. I've been working with them for many years, but yeah, confronting, very true words. And sometimes we require that. Sometimes us little tough nuts, as we are, because of our external circumstances and all of that sort of thing, we've built up these massive layers, and it takes something like those cards to just go slap. Let's get a few of those layers out of here and actually allow you to acknowledge those layers in the first place so that you will actually shift them. So I can appreciate the gift in that. And I am also very aware that some people are just like, there's no fucking way I want to hear that, and you're wrong, and I don't want to know. And that's when they get defensive and angry, and then it's potentially they try to project whatever is going on for them onto the reader. And that can be quite tough. And that's part of why tarot can be really tough too to read, because tarot can be just as confronting as those. And it's like, do you really want to hear what this is showing? Because it's a toughie, you know? And people think that it's just like when the death card comes out. No. If anything, I see the death card as actually being quite positive. When you see things like the Tower card come out, that can be a little bit more confronting. But there's so many aspects to the tarot. And I'm still, you know, I'm a little bit beyond a novice. But I'm certainly, I'd be in sort of like, not quite queenly status yet, as far as now, sort of like halfway between the knight and the queen is where I'd put myself with tarot. But certainly it's an interesting realm playing with these aspects, that's for sure. Interesting. This is just saying hi. Yes, I am currently streaming into Facebook and YouTube. So for those who are over on YouTube and you can't see who I'm talking to, that's why. So let me just double check to see if there's any more paid readings that have come through. If not, oh, that's cool. Awesome. You guys are the champions of the show to have figured out how to do a paid reading today, because you read the comments and you see the post and you see then you do the thing. So grateful. All right. Guess what? I was off doing a cleaning shift this week for one of my regulars, and she said, "Oh yes, that's right. I have to get your book for my friend who I bought it for her last year birthday, but I forgot about it last year birthday, but I'm going to give it to her this year for her birthday." And I went, "What? You bought my book?" She goes, "Yes, I bought it for her, for my friend, just after she had a reading with you last year." And I went, "Oh my God, that's so cool." And so she grabbed it out, and I said to her, "Well, I must sign it for her then." And so I inscribed it for her. And I'll be seeing them both on Tuesday evening, so I'm looking forward to seeing her. So Melinda said, "To me, the death card means change from whatever." Yes, that's exactly. And the Tower means... So I see the death card as being, yes, it's change, but I also see a lot of rebirth happening. And it can be quite... Let me see if I can just quickly find them, just in case people are unaware of which cards we're talking about. Because some people are very aware around the tarot and others are not. Let me see if I can find the two that we're talking about. Probably at the other end. Oh no, there's one. And there's the other one. All right. So the death card. So I've just got the Rider-Waite deck. The death card can be quite confronting in some ways, but it's like, if you look at it, the flag is flying the wrong way. The horse is apparently going forwards, we assume, but the flag is not flying the way you would expect it to. In the background here, you see a lot of sunshine, and it's not raining, so it's a nice sunny day. You've got people here who are dead or dying, and then you've got other ones here who are like praying. You've got this one here praying, and you've actually got this little child here holding out a bunch of flowers. So the way I look at death, the death card in particular, is that there is an ending of something but a starting of something new. So it's a big change, right? And it's going to be done in a way that is perhaps a little more gentle than what you would expect. Obviously, it might be sudden, because if somebody's all of a sudden dropped dead on the ground, but it's not going to be as like traumatic, but there's going to be change, okay? Whereas we look at the Tower card, that's traumatic change. That's a real smashing down of the old and a shifting of points of views that perhaps have held you safe for a really long time. It could be like you suddenly get fired, but from your job in the fire, right? You could be fired from your job, and you could be then, but that could actually be a massive gift, because you're then pushed into a job, into applying for other jobs that are actually far more suited. So I see this, the Tower card, as being like the renovator of your life. And the renovator of your life is like when you go into renovating a house. I don't know if any of you have done that, but there's always a stage of demolition where things have to be taken apart before they can be put back together. And it's really bloody messy. So that's how I view the Tower card, is it's like it's the renovator card. It can get really messy. It can be a bit traumatic. It can be or a lot traumatic, but it's going to be like a massive like kaboof in the world. It's that 4x2 moment where it's pushing you back onto the track that you've actually designed for yourself back when you were not even embodied yet. So the Tower card is a very positive card in a lot of ways, but it's still confronting when you see it. One of the other cards I find interesting is one of the Cups cards. And it's the reason why I find it interesting is because it's the one with the guy who's sitting underneath. I think it might be the Four of Cups, perhaps. Let me see if I can find it. He's sitting underneath a tree. There he is. It is the Four of Cups. How good is my brain? My brain is working well today. And it's this card. And this card, when I see this one come up, it often brings with it a lot of feelings of sadness and depression. And a lot of, because when I look at this card, I see, like, sure, there's the 3 cups here. There's 1 cup here being held and brought in by the cloud, which I see as the cloud is like possibilities, right? But the person is so internal at this point. They're so sad and they're so contracted that they can't even see that there's all of these possibilities. And it's like the cloud's been going, hang on, but I've got this one for you, and I've given you this one, and I'm trying to give you this one, but you're just not seeing it. And there's no water in this card at all. And water and the cups are connected. And so it's very dry, but it's obviously it's green, but it's like there's no flowing water, which to me reads that it's a lot of hot energy. It's really a lot of, like I said, internal depression, sadness, anger, all of that sort of stuff is rolling around right now. So I always find it interesting when this card comes out. I find tarot to be incredibly interesting. And I love it when I do get to do the odd tarot reading. And I've spent a bit of time with it, loved it once I got over my fear of it. But thank goodness I actually did a course with my very dear friend, Kieran Lee. Karen Lee Healing. If you want, I'm pretty sure she still has her course as an online course that you can do. So if you're interested in tarot and wish to learn more about that, then you can absolutely hop onto her website. And let me see if I can find it for you just quickly. Okay. Whether she's still got it up on her website, that will be interesting. I'll have to ask her for you guys to see if she's still got it up as one of her classes. I'm not seeing it there as such. Let me see. Oh, found it. Cool. Now I can copy that and chuck it in here for you. So if you're interested and you want to learn how to read tarot without it being scary, and she has a brilliant way of expressing how to read tarot. I actually did a day course, an in-person day course with her to start off with, and then I got into this one, and it's been absolutely brilliant, and it helps you really expand your knowledge of tarot and to be able to read it your way. It's not the reading of that silly little book. And you're really tapping into your intuition and your knowledge. Right. Because you guys who are still sticking around are awesome, we're going to do some poetry. But before we do that, let us expand out. So we know how to do the expanding out tool for some of you. For those of you who are new and are watching right now, I invite you now to close your eyes and take a big deep breath in and out. Taking another big deep breath in, bring Mother Earth energy all the way up through your body. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy all the way down. Now bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. And Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. And now expanding out your awareness out beyond your body in a big bubble up into the sky and down into the earth, expanding out your awareness out beyond the country that you're on, out beyond the planet. Out beyond the solar system, out beyond the galaxies, out beyond the universes. And if you desire, you can go out beyond wherever you've been before. And now focusing on your body once more, leaving your awareness nice and expanded out. You're going to grab your sense of allowance, remembering that your allowance is your ability to perceive, know, be, and receive all the energies from no point of view. So no criticism and no judgment. You're just receiving the information. So you go from being the tight, contracted little pebble at the bottom of a raging river of everybody's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, feeling like you're being bashed and trashed about. And you turn yourself into like a big fluffy cloud, a cloud of possibilities. And you can see that raging river for exactly what it is. It's just energy. And you have the choice to respond or react or just float on by. That's what having your allowance expanded out creates for you. So taking your allowance from within your body and expanding it out, please, bigger than your body, in a big sphere around yourself. expanding out greater than the home or the building that you're in, greater than the country that you're on, greater than the planet, expanding out your allowance, greater than the solar system, greater than the galaxies, greater than your universes, and expanding out your allowance greater than your awareness. And now I'd like you to pick the number between 1 and 88 that will assist you for the rest of the month. Till the end of the year, what number is going to create the most information and awareness for you for the rest of the month between 1 and 88? Please put that in the chat now. Thank you, Melinda. Melinda has chosen reaching out. Help me in this time in my life. Help me get through these days smoothly. Help me to see the bright side. Help me to achieve what I want in life. Help me to move on to the next stage, to make most of the only life that I've got. Help me to be happy, and most of all, help me by being there in thought, feeling, or just as a presence. So please help me. Melinda, thank you for bringing this to my awareness. This is a beautiful moment of vulnerability, and I appreciate you choosing this poem tonight. It is a reminder to reach out to your friends, those ones who you have those deep connections with, and ask them to help you move through this next month when you're tired and weary and you're feeling overworked and all the rest of it, to reach out and just keep you feeling good and happy, and by sending you memes or happy things or just fun little messages, moments of joy, and to let them know that even if you can't respond at that moment because you're tired, you so appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, it's full on for you right now, and I completely get it. So yes, help me to be happy. Keep that in focus in the front of your mind, and have that as an open invitation to you and your friends, your beautiful girlfriends that you connect with so deeply, and just say, hey, just during this month, for the rest of the month, can we just make a commitment to share those happy moments with each other, just to keep each other on track? Okay. Thank you, Melinda. Shwana, what have you chosen? Sweetheart, I'm going to just quickly take you through, not Shwana, I'll come back to you in just a moment, Shwana. P.S. Can you please expand out? We're going through the poems right now. And so this is about you tapping into your intuition and your awareness, and I'm still going to do a reading from it, okay? So just close your eyes. I'm going to do this really quickly because we've already done it with the others who have been here before. If you can please close your eyes, take a big deep breath in. And breathing out. Breathing in, bringing Mother Earth energy up your body. Breathing out, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Bringing Mother Earth and the unconditional love all the way up. Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. And now expanding out your awareness beyond your body in a big bubble, beyond the planet, beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxies, beyond the universes. And now focusing on your body once more, keeping your awareness all expanded out. Grab your sense of allowance and expand yourself out. Expanding out your sense of allowance gives you the ability to perceive, know, be, and receive all energies from a space of no point of view. So you can choose to respond or react. Expanding out your allowance beyond your body in a big bubble, up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out your allowance beyond the planet, beyond the solar system, beyond the galaxies, beyond the universes, and now beyond your awareness. Thank you. Now I'd like you to choose the number that is going to contribute the most to you for the rest of the month to the end of this year. The number between 1 and 88 inclusive. What number pops into your mind with that question in mind of what's going to create the most over the next 3 weeks? Okay, you can put that in the chat now. Melinda, yes, thank you. My hours have gone from 10 hours a week to 35 plus hours a week. Yeah, I totally get it. It's a lot. It's a hell of a lot. And it's a big shift in the body. And it takes a bit to get your head wrapped around that. So I get it. Right, Shawana. Hi, darling. Thank you for waiting. Clouds. As the clouds roll by and I lay watching, a type of peace comes over me. I've stopped my thoughts, my worrying, my troubles. For just a short while, I am me, laying there on the grass, watching the clouds as they roll by. So, Shwana, I'd like for this to be a moment of inspiration for you to allow yourself to connect in with nature some more. I'm going to read the blurb that's at the bottom because I feel like that might actually be relevant for you. While this is a lovely poem about the worries and troubles and thoughts, the worries, troubles, and thoughts referred to here are about some very heated discussions had with my mum and about how I had made the wrong choice by being with the guy, and I went into defense of all my decisions, all the while being very worried as to what that decision would mean for my relationship with my family. And once again, the earth gifts me the space of peace and tranquility. So this is what I'm saying is like, please, if you're really stressed and worried about stuff, go out in nature as best as you can, even if it's like you're living in a skyrise, a tall skyrise building or whatever, sitting there watching the clouds, just putting the technology away to the side and just watch the clouds. And if you can, put your hand on the grass if you happen to be able to get to some, and just be present. You can put a timer on it if you like. You know, if you're like, oh, I don't want to be stuck out here for ages or whatever, put a timer on it for 15 minutes. But give yourself some space, just more space. Because it's like this poem is saying, hey, you're still a bit worried and stressed about stuff, and it's okay to take time for yourself and to just be you. And with your worries and your troubles and your stresses, what's there that you could actually potentially fix if you softened a little bit? If you weren't trying to be so right all the time? Because that's the other part about what was at the bottom, and that little bit at the bottom. So being in defense of the decisions that you make, the choices that you've made. See, decisions, for me, when I look at decisions, there's the decisions that decisions feel more solid. A choice is a choice. And it's like when we say we've made a decision about it, it's almost like we're saying to ourselves, we can't choose anything else. And that's not true. You can always choose something else. So if there's something that's been worrying you, there's something that's been holding you back, something that you've kind of gone, oh, jeepers, I've already made a decision about that and now I can't change my mind. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. And it's okay too. It's okay if you go, oh man, I've been doing this particular career path for, in my case, it was like 13 and a half years, and now I'm going to change and do something else. Other people around me were like, what are you doing, you crazy person? You're starting all over again. And I was like, yep. And then I changed industries again. And then again. All of them have been great in their own ways. So you can change your mind. Okay? Nothing is stuck. Nothing is solid. So yes. Worries are a creepy little thing. They get into our heads and they get into our lives. You're on Facebook. So this week on my page, it's all public, so you should be fine. I shared something about vomit journaling. It's a YouTube video. So have a look back through my page, my personal page. And it was during this week. So there's not that many things that I share. But that might be something that could be quite useful for you. If you're into journaling, you might find some extra hints and tips that are in there to help you to take that worries and get them out. Okay. Thank you so much for everything, for being here, Shwana. I adore you. And I hope you find some peace and calm as you come through to the rest of the year. All right. So, yes, So I am going to read out, for those who are on Facebook, they can't see your message that you've written. And once I read that, this is going to make a lot more sense as to why you have chosen this particular poem. Okay. So you said, sorry to interrupt, but I have been losing hope lately as there's no one by my side and I've been betrayed and lied. So I want to know, is anyone genuine out there for me? The poem that you picked was How Come? How come we love we almost always get hurt? How come there are wars? Too many people get killed. How come people get drunk? They only do stupid things. How come we argue? Feelings get hurt. How come media focuses on thin bodies? Most people aren't like that anyway. How come everything revolves around money? There's so much poverty in the world. How come there can't be peace? It would make living easier. How come we can't love freely? No one would feel pressured. How come we can't live in a money-free world? It would be easier to learn. How come we can't share? Everyone would be happy. How come? So, my dear, there is always more. One of the most beautiful things my mum and I have not always had a great relationship. It's been very challenging, and in some ways, from what I thought I required, neglectful. There was a few key moments where she was absolutely there for me, and she always made sure that, you know, we had clothes on our back and food in our bellies and things like that. But as far as emotional connection, there was very little. And as a result, I ended up finding myself attracted to people who matched that energy, and one of them being my first husband, which she found confronting because it was like I was getting together with someone who matched her energy, and she didn't like that. That became competition for her. So after 7.5 years of being with this guy who had borderline personality disorder, was narcissistic with gaslighting tendencies, our relationship ended very, very fast. It was like a 3-hour phone call and it was done. So suddenly I had no job, no husband, no cat, no house, a fuck ton of debt, and a car. And it was about probably 2 weeks after it had all blown up and imploded, and I was sitting in my car one day at her house, at my mum's house, and I was crying because I felt like I just had nothing left to give anybody. I had no hope, because the reason why we'd split up is because he decided to go on a 2-day drinking binge and then ring me to tell me and confess all of his sins. And out of the 7.5 years that we were together, he was only faithful for 2 6-month blocks. Once the first 6-month block when we first got together, and the second 6-month block when we got married. Other than that, he was out with often multiple women, not necessarily in like orgy type situations, but single women, like multiple women, but in individual situations. So I get it. I get what it means to be cheated on. I get what it means to be lied to. I get what it means to feel like you're creating a life with someone and then it's completely ripped away from you in a matter of moments. I get it. And that point where I'm sitting in my car and I'm bawling my eyes out, my youngest brother and my nephew, who are only about a year apart, found me and said, you know, oh, what can we do for you? And I was just like, nothing. You just can't do anything. And so they've run inside and grabbed my mum. And mum's come out and she's, you know, opened up the door and she squatted down beside my car. And she said to me, Lorene, don't be like me. There are plenty of really good men out there. Don't let the actions of one man taint your view of every man in the world, because they're not all like that. And that was the moment in my mind I chose to become happy, whatever that meant for me. I had no idea. Like I said, I had nowhere to live. I had no job because my brain went into overload. I went into situational depression. I had zero concentration. I couldn't even read a kid's, like a toddler's book from cover to cover. It was impossible for me at that time. I felt like I had nothing to give to the world, let alone a partner. I couldn't do anything for myself right then and there. And that was the most beautiful moment my mum ever gave me, was to say, don't let the actions of one person taint your view of the whole. And I've been so fortunate since then to have been linked up, to have been in relationships with some absolutely gorgeous men, and all sorts of different types, and they've all taught me something different. So in relation to where you are right now, what can you learn? Have you looked at what happened with your previous relationship or relationships and go, oh, what was I learning there? What were the things that were most important to me? How has this shaped me to make sure that I don't make those same mistakes again? Or what is it showing me within me that I haven't healed yet? Okay. When we keep blaming other people for the situations of our life, we never move on, we never grow. In that moment, when I was sitting there in my car and I made that decision to be happy, that began the seeds of the process of my healing, to go, how was I responsible for that relationship? I was responsible because I chose it for a start. But there was a really significant moment not long after we got together and we started living together, and we had this big rip roar of a fight. And he wanted to leave. He wanted to actually not only leave the property, but he wanted to leave me. I literally stood in front of his car so that he wouldn't drive away. I essentially physically trapped him in that relationship. Physically, emotionally, and mentally, I trapped him. And I can take responsibility for that. Did he show me in many, many ways what it meant for him to be in that situation? Yeah, he did. Were we good communicators? No, we were fucking not. Quite clearly. And that was one of the lessons that I had to learn. I had to learn to let other people go if they wish to go. To not make it more traumatic than what it requires to be. I had to learn how to communicate well. I had to learn how to express myself in a way that isn't harmful to another person. I had to learn to soften. I had to learn to be more patient. And I definitely had to learn how to respond to my partner and what they require, rather than try to enforce my way on them. I had to have way more allowance. I had to learn how to do that, because I was such a fucking control freak at that time. Equally, he also taught me some, and I got to have some excellent experiences with him. I got to see other parts of New Zealand that I hadn't lived in yet. I got to experience what it meant to be part of a big fundraising thing for one of the islands that had a big, huge tsunami, that had a big, massive tsunami go through. And he got together with a whole bunch of other artists and stuff, and I was part of that, and raised several $1,000s to be able to be sent over to the islands to be able to, you know, help them rebuild their communities. When we start looking at what excellent things came out of a relationship, what lessons, what gifts, what nuggets, we can start to see the relationship in a really different way. So it doesn't mean that you want to get back with them. Do I wish to have anything to do with him anymore? No, not at all. Am I grateful that we never had kids? Absolutely. Like, dude. However, I am still so grateful for our time together. So what I would highly recommend for you is, it's time for you to do some more healing work on you. It's time for you to let go of that pain and that suffering. And it's time. It's time to let it go. I do a lot of relationship type work when I do personal sessions. So if you have a look, craftingpossibilities.com, that's where you can find me to do online sessions and stuff like that. And we can go into this sort of stuff into a lot more deep way. But I have been the relationship whore, if you like. I am a serial relationshipist. I love being in relationship. I learn so much by being in relationship. And it has been such a beautiful gift for me. Do my friends go, oh my God, here she goes again? Up until this relationship with Alex, yes. They've been shaking their heads a lot over the last 5 years, going, again? Uh-huh. But it's okay, because we all do these things differently. But I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about what it takes to love yourself. And I've learned so much about what it takes to love someone else and how deep that healing has to be. Because there's so many layers. And it can happen from this lifetime, from our parents, from society, from other lifetimes. There's just layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer. It's huge. So yes, if anything you can take away from this is, please get some help, get some healing work done for you. And also, in the wise words of my mum, please don't be like her. And in my words, that is being a bitter, spiteful old lady many years before your time. So make that choice to be happy. Make that choice to do whatever it takes to be happy. And quite often that means a lot of deep soul searching and deep healing work. And it can come in all sorts of different shapes and forms. Okay? Best of luck to you. Christine, you joined the party. Christine, did you expand out before you chose that number? So before I actually do that number for you, oh, you did? Good girl. Thank you. All right. So frightened. Frightened of life, frightened of people, frightened of decisions, but most of all, frightened of letting down the barriers. The barriers of the heart, ones which have been there for an eternity. Life has challenges where something or someone comes along and begins to break down the barriers, and with no control, it is the most frightening thing known. So, interestingly, at the bottom of this poem is, if only I had realized the frightened feeling was my body's way of saying, don't go there. I laugh now because, of course, that was around the time that my first husband came on the scene. So I know you're worried about a lot of things, particularly with your teeth and your body health and all of that sort of stuff. What if this is a moment where you can connect really super deeply with your intuition, your knowing, your divine feminine? But I thought that's what all of these worries are trying to show you. It's like your body is going, hey, what about me? What if your divine intuition is going, hello, lady, I'm here for you if you would like to listen to me. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance to have the confidence in you. Okay? And then being frightened won't be so much a thing in your world. And it's going to shift and change some of the implants, the points of views and belief systems that you have about yourself. Okay? Yeah, exactly. So you've just said that it makes sense. I have to take in the feminine energy since always 4 years masculine. Yeah, exactly. Your feminine energy is crying out for you, right? So if you're finding that you're getting a lot of shit happening on the left-hand side of your body, that's what it is. It's your feminine side is like aching, absolutely crying out for you to listen. The question is, are you prepared to do that? Or are you more happy, with things to grumble and complain about? It's a tough question. And it's only one that you can answer. I would love to see you more balanced, I would love to see you being more balanced with the feminine and your masculine and flowing with more ease with that. And being really confident in your intuition as well. Like, that would be amazing. I would love to see that for you. I wonder how else you can create that in your world. Paying a bit more close attention to you and your beautiful body. Okay. And what's she trying to tell you? So you said you've got a scar on your upper left thigh last month with the hurricane cleanup. I think they need a group as to this instead of AA, as it is my weakness. Yeah. I'm sure there'll be plenty of feminine groups out there divine feminine connection groups in your area, because they are everywhere. Us woo-woo people are not just in Australia, we're worldwide. There's loads and loads and loads of us all over the place. All right. Thank you, Christine. I hope that gives you a little bit of comfort, or at least insight. So it is, one of the interesting things is what we have decided is our greatest weakness is often actually our greatest strength, but we're trying to deny it so emphatically. Because if it was, we actually acknowledged how much of a strength it is, we would stop suppressing it and creating problems around it, so that it would actually become the greatest gift in our lives instead. I know and I get it from your point of view, darling, because I used to be the same. I was so in my masculine, even in my first marriage, because I had to be. I had to be from when I was young, and I was having to be strong for everybody else. I was having to be, because I was the eldest, and then my parents split up, and then, my mum's mental health went down the gurgler, and then my dad wasn't around anymore, and then everything was just there, and it was on me. So my fun childhood disappeared. That carefree, feminine kind of just, what do I desire to do today? Playing with the fairies and the spirits and all of that sort of stuff. It disappeared. Bam. Yeah, had to grow up fast. Way too fast. But the gift of that, which is what I was talking about with PS before, is that I learned how to be independent, and I learned how to be strong, and I learned how to be resilient, and I learned how to take care of myself. Then I had to relearn and reintegrate all the things that I'd cut out. Thank you, darling. Thank you, Melinda, for being with us. I actually really do need to head off to bed myself. So I hear you. I'm feeling a tad weary. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all that you are. So, yes. I think tonight will be just a very quick meditation. We've all just nicely expanded out now. So I just ask you to close your eyes, take a big deep breath in and out. Taking another big deep breath in. And out. And the reason why we bring Mother Earth up as we breathe in, and then we bring Father Sky down as we breathe out, is to rebalance and just energetically remind our bodies that it's okay to have a balance of feminine and masculine energies. Now I'd like you to imagine that there is a bright white light shining into your heart, going down your body, all the way down through to the center of Mother Earth, curling around the center of Mother Earth, and then going all the way back up through your feet and your legs, all the way up through your body, through to the crown, and bring a big bubble above your head. And now imagine that you're inside that bubble, and now you're going to float up higher and higher, beyond the golden light and the dark light, beyond the rainbow jelly light clouds and the pink misty clouds. You'll see a big, huge opening. And through that opening is this massive, huge amount of bright white opalescent light swirling around and streaming through that opening. Move through that opening until you're completely surrounded by the bright white opalescent light. It might feel like you're standing underneath the sun, and the sun's warm rays are streaming all over you. Take a big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, the bubble around you dissolves. Breathing in, bringing that unconditional love all the way through your body. And breathing out. And now I'd like you to imagine that you can see the feminine half of you and the masculine half of you. It's like you're standing and you can see yourself almost like in a mirror. And that mirror shows you where the balance is between your feminine and your masculine side. Is your feminine side way over your masculine, or is your masculine side way over your feminine? Or is it equally balanced? Now, our greatest wish for this little bit of healing today is that we rebalance some of that masculine and feminine energies. So with the unconditional love, which is swirling all around you and swirling around your feet, reminding you that unconditional love is exactly that. It has no rules, no boundaries, no checklist of right and wrong, good or bad. It just is. It has zero opinion about what you have done in the past or what you are going to do in the future. It is the purest form of love you can ever imagine. And it is all around you right now in your seventh plane. So as you're looking at that mirror and you're seeing where your body is sitting, where your masculine and feminine energies are sitting, maybe they're creeping over more to one side than they should be for the center, or they could be. Remembering, of course, that if it has creeped one way or the other, there's a jolly good reason for that. And generally it's for self-preservation and from childhood, which may have carried on into your early years, your early 20s, maybe even your 30s. In dealing with family, it just re-cemented that you had to be one way or the other. So now, if your wish is to be more balanced, we can help create that today. So internally, truth, do you wish to be more balanced between your masculine and feminine energies? If that is a yes, then come on this journey with me. That beautiful unconditional love can heal and regenerate your every single cell and molecule of your body. It can also heal and rebalance your energy centers and your fields. your auric fields and chakras. So that beautiful unconditional love is swirling around your feet, and it's ready to take on the task of rebalancing your masculine and feminine energies. So as it slowly starts to move up and redistribute those energies from whichever side is lacking to whichever side is whichever side is being overwhelmed by the other energy, and allowing it to move back just that little bit so that the energies are more evenly spread. The bright white opalescent light shifts those energies around over your legs, through your thighs, through your pelvis and all of your reproductive organs, up through your belly, rejiggling around, redistributing those energies between the masculine and feminine sides. Moving up through your chest and your heart and your back. Moving up through your collarbone, that whole upper chest area, through your shoulders, your spine, just rebalancing all those masculine and feminine energies, even through your arms, down to your fingertips. That beautiful bright white opalescent light is moving those energies around now so that you can move on from today feeling more balanced and calm and confident. Coming up through your throat and your neck, so that with your energies being balanced between your masculine and feminine, you can now speak your truth with confidence and heart and love and kindness and generosity. Coming up through your jaw and your gums and your teeth and your lips and your tongue. So again, you can speak with wholeness and confidence and kindness, compassion and strength and ferocity if it's required. Moving up through your nose, so your feminine can sniff out when something's not right, and your masculine listens, rather than the masculine just bowling on through and then figuring it out later. Moving that beautiful bright white opalescent light all the way up through your eyes so you can see the correct path forward for you. You can physically see the kind people in your world, the ones that are there to help you. And also you can see with total clarity the ones that are harming you, the ones that are taking advantage of you, the ones that are not helping you and not being a contribution to you moving forward. Equally, you can now see with absolute clarity the beauty and the sparkle in those that are. Moving that beautiful, bright, white opalescent light through your ears, where it's rebalancing what you are hearing, so that you're no longer in automatic defense mode or attack mode, where you will listen with calmness and discernment. Moving that beautiful, bright, white, opalescent light through your mind, through your brain and your subconscious and your conscious mind. And as we hit this area, we are teaching our ego how to listen a little bit more to the superego and a little bit less to the id. And as we do this, we're also teaching our ego, our beautiful, amazing ego, a different way to balance between those two things, between this ego, the superego, and the id, the masculine and the feminine. To be able to acknowledge, know, and balance what the feminine requires as well as the masculine, and how to make both of those come together with kindness and compassion and strength and confidence and potency and love. Moving that beautiful, bright, white opalescent light out through the skull and the crown, rebalancing all of your chakra centers. They have equal proportions of masculine and feminine energies through each of them. Beautiful. Now taking a big deep breath. It is done. It is done. It is done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And now we will move down through from the 7th plane, back through the pink misty clouds and the rainbow jelly light clouds, all the way back through the golden light and the dark light, back down through to your body, where this integration happens immediately, in a nanosecond. Everything that is just shifted and changed while you were up in the 7th plane has now manifested and actualized within your own very sweet, gorgeous, incredible body. Taking a big deep breath in. And now, as you breathe out, imagine that you're standing underneath a big, beautiful crystalline waterfall, and the water is flowing over and through your entire body, washing away any other little fragments that are ready to go now. Now stepping out onto a big, warm river rock where you see the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. And now, stepping out onto a big warm river rock, you feel the warmth of Mother Earth underneath your feet. Big breath in, bring Mother Earth all the way up. And as you breathe out, bring Father Sky energy down. And just feel how different the flow is now, bringing Mother Earth and energy all the way up. Feel how different the space is now that you've got things a little bit more rebalanced, bringing Father Sky energy all the way down. Last one, unconditional love and the Mother Earth energy all the way up. And Father Sky and the gratitude for everything and everyone all the way down. Beautiful. And when you're ready, open your eyes. For self-care from here, with all that rebalancing, you may have a little bit of a interesting wobble happen. Please take it easy before you get up and move around. Have a drink of water or something before you move, if you can. Or make that your first task after hopping off this show. You've just done some big energetic changes. So please take care of yourself. Have plenty of water. Get out there, do something tasty for yourself this weekend, and moving into the week ahead, please go easy and gentle on yourselves. And until next Friday, be bold, be brave,